Microphone check 1 2 1 2. You know what that means? You hear that? That means I'm in the building. Show me some bells. Let me know if you can hear me. All right. All right. Let's get this thing going.
God is dawn. Like and subscribe. Comment some night. Love in this light. Here's God is dawn. God is dawn. God is dawn.
Yes. Peace, bro. Peace. Welcome or welcome back. I am Goddess Dawn, the one, the only. Yeah. The best kept secret on YouTube. But yeah, I'm back with you live on this Saturday, July 31st, 2021. The very last day in the month of July. Entering into August. There's my alarm. Yeah, we're going into August. There's a lot of talk about C-19 lockdowns and whatnot. But shout out to all my Leos. Happy birthday to y'all. Yeah. I'm really behind on my astrology videos, but yeah, let me see who's here and we're gonna dive into some stuff. All right, I see you, beautiful spirit. Hey.
Hello.
Welcome back, sis.
Yeah, happy Saturday.
So let's see who's here. I see you, Wow Wayne. Hazel E, yeah, good to see you. Of course, beautiful spirit. And Love Warrior. Oh, yeah. All right, sis. I see you. Marcus, welcome back. Yeah. The gang is all here. Warrior gang. So let's just get into some stuff. Let me turn this down a little. But yeah, so I have mentioned there's talk about upcoming C-19 lockdowns, and we're going to get into all of that along with some Olympic talk. And of course, R. Kelly trial updates to close the show, baby. Speaking of R. Kelly, who caught that Tasha K live about R. Kelly's uncharged acts relating to the John Does in the case now? I still haven't had a chance to watch it or to listen, but I did catch some of that after show where she basically embarrassed and shamed DJ Tyson, the one and only. Queen Keish, welcome back. Yeah. Chrissy Power, you too, baby girl. Yeah. So, Beautiful Spirit, did you catch that Tasha K live where she discussed R. Kelly? And if so, let us know.
Yeah, I caught it. Of course, she saved them for last to close out her show, but she tried to clean it up with she's weaning out the liars versus the real victims. That's what she told everybody, which that's not true. She said that she doesn't believe the male accusations about the John Does. She said that she think it's made up and it's lies, like the feds just gonna make out these out blatant lies. She allegedly claimed that somebody that knows Joycelyn, that's in contact every day with Joycelyn, that's part of R. Kelly's slash AKA Joycelyn's camp, contacted her, gave her some light-skinned man named Ricky Frenzy, and let her tell it, is his name on Instagram, gave him her information, his information, and said that R. Kelly told Joycelyn that that's who he think the John Doe is that's coming after him to lie on him because the something about a relationship was over years ago. Well, if he wasn't never a male victim, how was it a relationship? Or if he'd never been with a man before, how was it a relationship? Then she turned around and said that Bubba is the only man that R. Kelly has ever slept with in his life. He's never been with no other man but Bubba. Then she said that um the man is married with kids, this Ricky guy off of Instagram. She said that this is the one that told the feds about the bribery money, about damaging evidence, and she referred to Richard Arline, but she's saying that the feds lied about Richard Arline. That's not the real Rich. It's this guy. It's not Richard. It's this man right here. He's waiting to be convicted and sentenced, and he shaved a deal with the people because they had other dirt on him. So he realized, oh shit, I forgot I met R. Kelly before. Let me make up some stuff, and it'll take some time off. She said that he's facing about 10 years. His lawyers told him do not talk to her, but she said the way she came at him, he talked to her anyway, and she can't tell us everything. But he told her that he'll talk soon and come on her platform, and he'll admit if it was false information that he gave the feds or not, that he was a victim.
Hmm.
She did admit and said that R. Kelly put himself in this situation, and R. Kelly put himself in jail with the criminal acts that he did, and the supporters did not like that at all. And you know how she does with her dramatics and stuff.
Oh, I know they didn't like that.
Yeah, she said that he had a boyfriend in jail already, if not more than one. And he been had one. He had one in Chicago.
Oh my God. Hi, how you doing?
But that's how that went down with her. I just don't know. She want to throw Joycelyn name around and act like it came, and she just, I don't understand it. I just wish she was. And now I wish that she just leave the case alone. I wish she'd leave anything attached to this case. Just leave it alone.
Well, she has some type of ties to somebody because we know that she's one of the first people to come on YouTube and share information about his quote unquote enablers. We'll use the quotes
Yeah.
as alleged, But yeah, she's the one we went to hear the juicy, salacious information. And now today she has since turned around and kind of flip flopped on some things. But I will say, as I mentioned, that after show, I think you guys, somebody texted me and told me DJ Tyson was on her after show. I'm like, what? I caught that, but I didn't catch her actual commentary. But with regard to the after show and how she responded to him, I will say that that's when the truth came out. She let him know that there are videos. She basically, I would say, clowned him in a sense and telling him, you defended him like you wanted a John Doe's or something to that effect, which he was and which he does. And, I think some people, there's an agenda. Some people, maybe they do truly, blindly follow this guy and are loyal to this guy, but I don't know how or why when you don't know him personally, know? So, but yeah, I don't know if she actually said that. Literally, that came to mind. Wrench gang. Yeah, we got the wrench mob in the building. So I appreciate you guys too, by the way, carrying that wrench, a little bit of responsibility. But yeah, before we get into the R. Kelly stuff, because there's so much to dive into, there have been motions since we last spoke. I missed last Wednesday coming live. I was honestly R. Kelly'd out the Saturday previous to this. We spent like 5.5 hours, something like that on live. Most of that dedicated to R. Kelly. Yeah, reading the motions and even the text messages and all of that. So if you want to get the details, go ahead and catch that live. JC, yo, welcome back. Yeah. Yeah, we just got started. We were just talking about R. Kelly and Tasha K, being that she covered, the story about the alleged John Does, not alleged John Does. They are real John Does. And how she kind of flip-flopped when it comes to, whether she supports him or not, and the type of information she brings forth. A lot of it is, to me, misinformation. So I wanted to make sure I listened so I could hear what is it that she's saying this time. But again, YouTuber DJ Tyson made it onto her after show, and she, took him to the hoop. She took him to the hoop and she scored on his ass. Okay, I'm just sending out a little thing on my story to let people know I'm live. I didn't do no promo on this at all, but it's Saturday night. What y'all sipping? What y'all, what y'all doing?
I got water.
I'm drinking a little red wine this evening, just a little sipping action. No,
Well, I got put in Facebook jail, so I wouldn't have been able to share it because they said would nobody see it but me.
Facebook jail. What happened? What you do?
Well, they said I got reported on the 22nd. I went back on that day to see what did I do on a Thursday on the 22nd, and it was blasting R. Kelly, the updates on him, and I have said more harsh things in my titles or captions or whatever when I reshare information about certain cases and people and criminals. And to me, I've said worse things, like even about other people, and I've never been in restricted or in Facebook jail. But that day, that's when they told me 30 days. So I was just like, okay, that's all I talked about. Yeah, 30 days. So because I didn't talk about nothing else on that day, just nobody but him. So I was just like, oh, we get close to trial now. Everybody, he's in his little feeling. Yeah. And
that seems extreme, though.
Yeah, it does.
Aisha said she's drinking Mountain Dew. More power to that girl.
I laughed. I thought it was funny. I was at my dad's house that day too, and he laughed and he was like, "Oh, you must have made like fun of them or something or whatever." He's like, "They don't like that." He was like, He was like, "Those people, they don't like that."
Them people. Whenever I say something like that to like my mom, those people are they. She's like, "Who's they?" Every time. Every time I have to explain, I'm like, I'm not doing that no more. Yeah.
My dad already know who they are, so we just be in our own little world.
Yeah, me and my mom, no, we're in separate worlds.
Yeah.
for most conversations, I have to say. But the love is there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If she doesn't get me, if she either she gets me or she doesn't, but when she does, I will say I'll be having her rolling. She be dying laughing. All right. So I want to start off though tonight. Get into a little bit the Olympic talk. There's been some headlines that caught my attention, and one of them being about Simone Biles. We know
Hmm.
Simone. We've talked about her here. She's the one everybody's eyes been on, and anticipating, her results in the Olympics because she's the one. She's the one everybody's been talking about. But she pulled out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she dropped out, and they cite mental health as the reasoning. Um, so I'm just gonna read a little bit about what happened because some people are aware, some aren't. Let me see what's happening in the chat. Oh, Miss Della made it. Check your email for the link, Miss Della. Okay, Love Warrior. Or I'm sorry, that's Hazel E drinking her cherry Coke Zero. I guess we're doing a lot of endorsements and promos here for product placements. So
Hmm.
I can run them checks. All y'all vendors out there. So I could hear that, Love Warrior. Eyes back. I know exactly how your voice is. It's hilarious. All right, so let me share the screen. All right. So the headline reads Simone Biles withdraws from individual all around competition to focus on her mental health. Let's see. USA Gymnastics says the decision follows further medical evaluation. Following further medical evaluation, American gymnastics superstar Simone Biles has withdrawn from Thursday's final individual all around competition at the Tokyo Olympics to focus on her mental health, USA Gymnastics announced. Simone, in quotes, it says, will continue to be evaluated daily to determine whether or not to participate in next week's individual final events. And I think that's already come to pass, and she did not participate, right? It says, we wholeheartedly support Simone's decision and applaud her bravery in prioritizing her well being. Her courage shows yet again why she is a role model for so many. Okay, it goes on, but I do want to talk about Simone and this occurrence because it's a big deal. Like, it's not her first time, right? This rodeo is not her first. However, it is still a big deal, and at her young age to be at the Olympics and the star of the show, she, everybody was betting on her. So for her to pull out like this, it's a big deal. So any thoughts on that? Oh, Miss Della's here. Welcome, baby Yoda.
Happy
You
Saturday.
happy Saturday to you. So what you think about Simone Biles pulling out of the Olympics, citing mental health reasons?
So I think it was a good decision because mental health does make a difference. I mean, it's tremendous stress for her. The pandemic, everybody's watching her. And I don't know something. I think from that last performance she did, I think that was probably this last straw right there. But I know she was given a lot of backlash, a lot of people, of course, tearing her down, saying she failed America. However, she didn't. She was still there being supportive, and I think
Right.
it was the right decision.
She failed America, yet she was there still, like you said, continued support for her co-athletes, co-competitors, or whatever you call them. And what about you, beautiful spirit? What you think about this?
Um, I pray that she be okay and she does get the help, whatever's going on. But I think it's something going on with this year, and what do you want to call it? Like an anniversary year for the Olympics that I feel that our color skinned people culture is being targeted in some kind of way, and it's affecting them because it's just all these little things. I don't know, like they're nitpicking.
That's interesting. Yeah, you're right. And Hazel said she supports Simone. Mental health is very important. And it said
Hmm.
if a gymnast's mental health is off, it can affect their performance and risk injury, which is a good point. You definitely don't
Yeah.
want you get hurt because your mind is foggy. That's true. Ms. Dellis mentioned the last performance. Though there was a performance which I hadn't seen, but I know it's up here, which they said she stumbled or fumbled, or I guess stumbled would be the right word. And she probably is so, she's so, I guess the expectation for her is so high. The level, the bar is set so high for her. She's been perfect. Even just a little bit of being off shook her, is what the perception is. We don't know that though. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know what kind of pressures are being placed upon her from outsiders. Not, there's probably political pressures. I know that the Republicans specifically have politicized this. So I look at all angles because I'm a big, I don't know if you want to say conspiracy theorist, but I do look at a broader picture than most people. When I read a story or I learn about something, some other messages come to play sometimes, like look into this, look into that, like remember this, just things like that. And with regard to this, I do feel like, I don't know, just based on who did take the gold in Olympics. I don't know if you are in the gymnastic overall category. I don't know if y'all are aware. Her name is Suni Lee. And I'm not sure exactly what type of Asian American, but she lives out here in America, but she's of Asian descent. Let me pull her up real quick. I just think it's interesting that, the Tokyo Olympics, Simone Biles, the sought after, highly regarded African American gymnast who's been setting records, setting the bar so high, where they had to literally discontinue or what is the word? Disqualify certain moves because she's the only one that could do them. Let me see something. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Suni at all, but I just thought I would make mention of that. It just seems like, oh, okay, y'all wanted to make room for somebody else. All right. So this is her. On Sunday, newly crowned Olympic all-around champ Suni Lee will compete for the gold. And she did get the gold at the end of the day. So I guess this is a dated thing. But let's see if it says anything about her. Okay. With Saturday's news that Simone Biles is out of both the vault and bars finals, followed by Sunday's news that she is pulling out of the floor exercise, the vault competition now will be wide open with Americans Michaela Skinner and Jay Carey in an epic battle for the podium. On the men's side, blah, blah, blah. We don't care about the men. No, I'm just kidding. We love the men, but this is, not about them. But do you see how that's worded? Now there's room. The floor is wide open now, being that with Simone in play, there was no room. There was no opportunity and the floor was not wide open. You understand what I'm saying? Hello. Okay. I'm kicking everybody off the stage at this point. Am I by myself? What's going on? What's happening? Let me look in the chat.
You are not by yourself, dear.
I'm talking to the air.
You're not.
Okay,
You're
let's
talking
see.
about the other young lady.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh, okay. JC said the last jump, she got the twisties. She didn't know what was up and down. And when you are up there, that is dangerous. Yeah, I could see that. And Hazel E, yeah, JC, the twisties is when they get lost midair and end up landing wrong. Yeah, it's actually very dangerous and has a lot to do with mental health. So, who was it? The Love Warrior? Somebody was saying to me earlier that it was rumored that the Russians got into her mental health records. I'm not sure if that's true, and that she had taken some Ritalin. I don't want to spread false information about her, but if that's the case, I would think that is something that could affect your mental health, especially if it's not something you're doing as prescribed. Let's see.
I didn't hear that.
You didn't hear what?
Anything about the Russians doing something? I didn't. I
Oh,
never
you didn't
heard
hear
that
about
one.
that?
No. I haven't.
She said, JC said, Asian has nothing to do with, no more than Simone being African American. You know what? I'm going to say that no, I don't agree with you, JC, on that. It can have to do with it because this is the World Olympics, right? And even though I might not even pay much mind to it, for some reason or other, this is a very big deal with regard to not even just sports, but it has to do with international relations. There's a lot of pull and push with regard to our country and other countries. And this is a representation. And if somebody wants someone else to win, they're going to go about that by however means necessary behind the scenes. I'm just saying, they might want a new face. Simone Biles, it was the expected winner. And I wouldn't put it past anybody behind the scenes to have pressured that girl into breaking down and pulling out because they wanted a new face that matched what they represent. I'm just saying, it's not, I would say that it is a possibility and not something to just say that straight up, it ain't, no, that's not the case. Just saying. Beautiful Spirit, are you there? Because I know you agree. I know you do because we spoke on it. I told y'all this is, wait, hold on. Oh, okay, I got a text. All right, I'm currently accepting applications for new panel members. So if you are interested, please send me an email. Just email me and I will send you the link.
That's lovely.
I will send you the link and we can discuss all the particulars. Thank you and good night. No, but I mean, I'm just saying, is it unlikely that this politics plays a part in the Olympics? You really can't tell me you look at this stuff at very much face value. Like you just look at it. You do?
So yes, I do look at it. So we're talking about her stress level. We're talking about why she pulled out, but due to it's a picture of everything. When I say everything, especially when it comes to the politics, you know how I am when it comes to that. But again, I don't know why she actually, what was the real reason why she pulled out.
Yeah, I don't think we will know either.
Yes. But of course it plays it because everybody has an opinion now. Everybody wants to give an opinion why she did something. And of course, I agree. Her being black, it makes it even worse.
It does. Well, I mean, I don't know about worse, but I will say that I'm skeptical about what is really going on. I mean, yeah, we probably won't know. Like this stuff, this is why we have movies. I'm telling you, I do believe these movies are based on actual factual. I'm telling you. It'd be these people consulting on these movies and they've been there, done that, seen all of it. All right, let me see. JC, you can't say I get it, but then it's nothing about race. But okay, we'll agree to disagree. That's why I like you, JC. JC, you know, she comes with a different perspective a lot of times, which I respect that. What she said? Hold on, I'm trying to keep up here. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, JC, hopefully you're doing much better. Hopefully you are. It sounds like this was something that was in the past. I'm hoping that's the case. She was falling and stuff. She was really bad in her practice. Okay. Yeah, they're both Americans, but I'm not, it goes deeper than that, JC. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. It seems in Hollywood, the beauty are high only to slowly tear you down. Yeah, that's true too. You can never be too perfect in Hollywood. You can't. That's only gonna last for so long. I guess unless you keep going along with they get along. I think that's the key. But even with that, I think there comes a time where you get tested, and depending on which way you decide to go, is how it's gonna flow. Speaking of flow, that reminds me, there was a record broken. FloJo, she was an Olympian. What was this in the 80s? Let me see.
Oh, I remember FloJo. She was beautiful, beautiful lady.
But she the flamboyant one. There was a couple. There were two. I remember specific. Jackie Kerner, Joyce Kerner. Wait, I know FloJo was bad. She had her. She had her. Was that the one with the nails? But I know her outfits were kind of out there. Let me see.
Yeah.
Well, her record was broken. So let's get into that real quick. Let me share this story. We got to give people their flowers. People are doing the damn thing out here during this pandemic and all of that, where people are sitting around making excuses about doing this and that because of the pandemic or whatever is happening because of the pandemic economically. But some people, are letting us know you could still be a star during the pandemic. All right. Elaine Thompson-Herah breaks Florence Griffith Joyner's 33-year-old Olympic record in women's 100 meters. And shout out to FloJo or Florence Griffith Joyner for that 33-year-old Olympic record. Like, shout out to her. For real. Tokyo says Elaine Thompson-Herah broke Florence Griffith Joyner's 33-year-old Olympic record in the women's 100 meters, pointing at the scoreboard even before crossing the line in 10.61 seconds Saturday to defend her title and lead a Jamaican sweep of the medals. Wow. So the Jamaicans swept, it sounds like. Griffith Joyner set the old record of 10.62 at the 88 Seoul Olympics. Oh, so that was in Seoul too. So that was also, that's interesting to me. Okay. So she broke the record by 1 second. 1 second. And that's crazy. So it goes into more details. Of course, you can Google this information if you're interested. I do want to say, let me just say what it says here. No Olympic champion had broken 10.7 since FloJo. Tara Thompson-Herah wasn't sure she would do either as she approached the finish, but I knew that I won, she said. The pointing, I don't know what it means to show that I was clear. Yeah, she knew. She was like, I got this. It's all good. I think it's not, why is it a problem to be confident, So shout out to her and kudos to her and everybody else who's been winning. Let's see. That's right, Wayne. Mature audiences only. I would say hashtag smart people only. And let's see. What? Tiffany Haddish has been casted as FloJo. Hope she does great. Wow, I didn't know that. Interesting. I find that she's been doing a little more serious stuff lately. She can be scary. I've seen a couple of them characters. I'm like, girl. Why? Kim, are you there? I'm gonna say Kim. Sorry, beautiful. Are you there? Because otherwise I'm gonna take you because I feel like you're not there. So let me know. If I don't hear from you, I'm gonna bring you down so you can come back in if need be. And I see you on mute over there to judge, but We need you chiming in a little bit, please. All right. So, yeah. But yeah, back to Simone. She is an example, I would say, of still standing and continuing to move forward. You know, because that in itself is a blessing, to be able to gather your legs and keep it moving. Some people, you know, they get down or get pushed down or knocked down and they can't seem to make their way back up, or it takes them, you know, a lot of time and energy to do so. It looks to me like she was able to continue to stay around and support her teammates, which was dope. Thank you for the super sticker. Appreciate you. I know, Hazel. I think she dropped out for some reason, but I don't know. Okay. So yeah, but mental health, it goes hand in hand with being whole. Like you have your mental health together. Physical health is the cherry on top, you know, something not to be taken for granted, that's for sure. And spiritual health, you know, that's an ongoing journey. It's all important, but it all starts and ends with spirit, you know, and the energy you carry and possess. You know, that's where it starts and where it ends. So, but yeah, shout out to her, Suni Lee. Congrats to her. I was just putting my thoughts out there, you know, not to put any put any misinformation or disinformation out there. I was just putting out theories with regard to the whole Asian thing, trying to make room for the new face and all of that. Yeah, you could take it or throw it away.
And she's still there being supportive, Simone.
All right, Robert Millington, good night to you in Jamaica. He said the day of reckoning looms for R. Kelly. Big up my Jamaican ladies. Well, we're all not Jamaican, but we'll take the big ups. Thank you. Just saying. Okay, so where was I at? So yeah, we're just gonna move on and talk about some of these C-19 jab updates. I'm told, you know, I can't use the V word, can't use the whole C word, you know, so I'm saying C-19, but y'all know what I'm talking about. The jab, the big jab. Okay, we still on Olympics. Let me get some of these comments first. Carrie shrugs in the 1996 Olympics, injured her ankle and still has to perform on it. Ended up ending her career as a result of it, and was only a teenager. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, you can definitely make an injury that much worse and make it into a lifetime hindrance if you don't take care of it. I know that for a fact. That's too bad though. I never heard of that person. Carrie shrugs. I heard about the Russian gymnast that was made to perform with a broke leg back in the day. Her career was also ended. And that goes to, I think, some of these coaches who were probably forcing these people to continue when they were injured. Or maybe themselves stating they could handle it. And maybe they, you know, were just trying to not lose their spot. I don't know. But that's really sad. She was sobbing as they forced her to, they forced her. See, bringing the gold was what they wanted. Yeah. Wow, that's really sad. Oh, they forced her. Where were the parents? Where were the let me stop with the where were the parents? Oh, that was an inside joke for anybody following this R. Kelly thing. Y'all know what I was talking about. All right. So vaccination. Now, there's been obviously things in the news continuing with the talks of people getting the jab and whether or not that was going to impact, you know, the way you're able to live and be in society. people who are not vaccinated are definitely being demonized by people in politics, specifically Joe Biden, that Alabama governor. There's been a lot of political figures who putting messages out there that, the unvaccinated are the reason for the spread and the surges and the reason for everything basically happening in the world, even global warming, if you let them tell you. But like I'm looking at a headline now here it says on CNN, some vaccinated Americans have lost their patience with those refusing the shot as C-19 cases surge and mandates return. Hello.
You do not
I was talking to
allow
beautiful
a public politician to dictate your life. Florida, you're right, those other governors, they care more about being reelected versus the life of their constituent. You have people burning, protesting, the new mask mandates, the kids in school, and then you have some Republican governors that, okay, you're taking my freedom away. So you're saying no mask. For an example, let's use Florida. Governor Ron DeSantis. He's saying no mask mandate. You're going to lose. I'm not going to take away somebody's freedom. So he says there are no mask mandates when it comes to school. Then you got the schools that say they think that you should wear them. Again, it's a horrible war right now with the unvaccinated versus the vaccinated. But I think 1 million people did get vaccinated yesterday, because you got a lot of people that are still dying in the hospital.
Okay, I'm just looking at the chat. Governor DeSantis, horrible mini Trump.
That is correct. You're right, Love Warrior.
Companies going back to mask mandates. I know out here it's mandated indoor and outdoor, mandated for masks at least, even though the sheriff, the deputy sheriff said he's not going to mandate that. So basically telling people do what you want because we're not going to punish you.
Yeah, but that's political. This is what I'm saying. You don't allow, but guess what? The next thing you know, you're in a hospital. Where's that governor at? Because really, come on now. I understand about taking your freedom, but regardless of taking your freedom, it still comes responsibility. You still need to be responsible for your life. Again, oh my God, I'm healthy. I'm best shape of my life. Next thing you know, you on a ventilator. Oh, husband of 5, misinformation. Husband of a family of 5 just died. But again, it's too late. And then don't forget, there's some hospitals, of course, doctors and nurses, they try not to be political, but they do come out, they allow to tell some of the patient stories of, like, towards the end, when before they get ready to pass, they're trying to ask for the shot real quick, and they saying that it's too late, or the spouse is showing that the loved one that's on a ventilator, oh my God, this is something that we should have done, so like I said, you do not let a political figure make a decision for your life being. My God, then don't wear a mask. But again, it's going to get, I believe in the next couple of months, it's going to be worse.
I'm sorry for your loss, Love Warrior. Says she lost 2 people that she knows to COVID or to the sea. Wow. But I was going to say a lot of the, not to say people aren't dying. Obviously they are, and getting sick and hospitalized. There are some unvaccinated people who don't believe in masks, who don't believe in the virus, and who are putting themselves in this vulnerable position. However, a lot of unvaccinated people are being cautious and wearing masks and staying distant and being, extra cautious and clean. So just to say, everyone's not shouldn't be lumped together as the unvaccinated is all I'm saying. People have different mindsets when it comes to this thing.
Well, I think they had the Lollapalooza started today. Was it today? I believe in Chicago. Where and they requested to show your vaccination cards or your negative test to get in. So, and that's like a 4-day event.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's the thing too. Is I believe in Paris they're like going down. It's going down. Let me pull that up. Yeah, they're fighting for their rights out there. Let's see.
And you got over what? Almost 600,000 people that have died from that, and you still got people that think that is a hoax.
Yeah, the people do think it's a hoax, or they feel like it's over, it's over exaggerated, or people, that the government is reaching. So I would say, yeah, anybody who's just out there and not being careful and protecting themselves is really nothing you could do. There's nothing you could do about that. And I feel like putting any laws or mandates in effect is pointless. I feel. I mean, because if you want to believe that and put your life in jeopardy in that way, it sounds like you're going to commit suicide anyway. I'm just saying. Oh, wow. A woman was in line to get a prescription at a drugstore, and somebody jumped on her and tore off her mask. I wish some motherfucker would. I wish somebody would. New law concerning video and police second-degree misdemeanor. So we're going to have new laws. That is a good thing. Good point, actually, Love Warrior. We're going to have new laws with regard to this mask stuff and the way people react to the mask. Because that stuff isn't in the books yet. This is new stuff to us, new territory. Yeah, tourism is a big deal when it comes to this pandemic and whether or not there's upcoming shutdowns. I don't know if we could take another one, the United States. I don't know.
I don't think we can. No, I don't think we can take another. Financially, a shutdown, no. But I think that the mask mandates. I think that in my personal opinion, I'd rather go through a mask mandate than a shutdown.
Absolutely, same here. Because I have travel plans on the books for a couple months. The kid got invited to perform in a place we ain't never been, and I'm excited to go. And I'm like, no, shut down, please wait. But if it does, it does. I mean, obviously, it is what it is situation. I'm not going to go trying to get crazy about it. But I do want to share this information about what's going on in Paris or France. Let's see. COVID-19 vaccine health pass fuels French protests. So they have a health pass. Let's see. Let's see what they're saying about it. Oh, dang. Which is this? The Wall Street Journal. They want me to subscribe. Hold on. Okay, I'm not doing that. Hold on. Okay. Happy Saturday, y'all. We made it. All right. This is from Reuters. Thousands protest against COVID C-19 health pass in France. Paris, July 31st. Thousands of people protested in Paris and other French cities on Saturday against a mandatory coronavirus health pass for entry to a wide array of public venues, introduced by the government as it battles a fourth wave of infections. Protesters injured 3 police officers in Paris. People are getting arrested. It says it was the third weekend in a row that people opposed to President Emmanuel Macron's new C-19 measures have taken to the streets, an unusual show of determination at a time of year when many people are focused on taking their summer break. Well, that's the youth. Our youth today, I think, are more advanced, when it comes to fighting for rights and causes than we ever were. I see them out there, and I am actually, I was actually very satisfied to see a lot of these young people out there at the forefront of these humanitarian and racially motivated protests. Absolutely.
My nephew also participated too. I was very happy to see him on Black Lives Matter, standing up for our rights. And again, that's and it. I'm not gonna say it worked, but it got people's attention. And when people start getting worried when you protest like that, they start looking for the bad before they start looking up the good out of. Because again, no one should have died like that. We protest like that for a reason. People need to be heard. We're doing it for a reason.
Absolutely. I feel like I would definitely be hitting the streets also if that was something, because you're not gonna make me get this thing. Or I think that it's just a matter of choice too, not just choice of getting the CV or not, but also whether or not you're going to change your lifestyle for it or for not getting it. You got to just come to terms with it. Like, okay, well, I can't go to public venues anymore. Am I good with that? Or do I want to just go ahead and get the jab? Is that stuff more important to me than the reasons I'm not getting it,
Or are you going to act out and say, I don't care, this is fake, I'm just going to go anyway?
I wouldn't do that, because you're going to end up in jail is what you're going to end up doing.
However, going back to Florida, if you got arrested for, I don't know, maybe they told you wear a mask and you refused to wear one, DeSantis is going to pardon you for that. This is where it comes down to, that it's political.
It is. I think it is. A lot of this stuff too is propaganda. Push. You're seeing for people the money you're gonna get here. Get this money. Come get this weed. Come get whatever they're giving out. They're giving out a lot of stuff. And then on top of that, you have the president saying, "You unvaccinated people not as smart as I thought y'all were," and things of that nature. Like, are you serious right now? Not with that.
So I see that Hazel. So Hazel says she works in a hospital, and okay, I'm not near any. Okay, but
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I took that down. Did you?
No. So guess what? This is look. This popped up on my TV, so I'm working on something new here. Okay.
All right. Yoko Yukia, welcome. Let's see. They said, do not take any vaccines. This is the standard deceptive way you're given the establishment's biological warfare infections. Dr. William D. Kelly. All right. Well, thanks for sharing. The benefit for JC outweighs the risk for her. And like I always say, I feel everybody has a personal choice and everybody has that right to do that. And for whatever reason it is that you chose that, that's on you, and it should be good. You know what I'm saying? Like, shouldn't be any judgments or shaming or any of that. I don't know if y'all listen to Lovely T on YouTube. She talked about this, and she has so many great points. I mean, basically, I agreed with her, and she's where we're at, where I'm at, as far as, you know, no judgments on you, but this is what's best for me, and I need you to respect that too. And you know, but as far as people not being safe nor believing that this thing is real, I will caution you, and just say, better to be safe than sorry. You know, Bill Gates has 3 children with his wife, Melinda, Jennifer, Rory, and Phoebe, born between 1996 and 2002. According to his former doctor, they are all unvaccinated and healthy. Interesting. And isn't he a part of they say he has the money behind one of them. I'm not sure. I don't want to speak on it. I'm not positive, but I keep hearing his name come up. Are you there, beautiful?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Because I know we were talking about Bill Gates. Weren't we talking about him in India?
Yes.
I don't really remember. You remember what we were talking about?
Allegedly he was all over there. I think they had like medical experiment places set up. Allegedly, I think his son was part of like one of the lead scientists or something when it came down to the virus. And
So he's all mixed up in it, but his family's not vaccinated.
right.
What does that
Correct.
make sense?
Yes, they said he had like clinics over there, basically like doing studies on over there. On
Yeah, he got his own clinic at that, and you still not vaccinated?
Yeah.
So it says the number of demonstrators has grown steadily since the start of the protests, echoing the yellow vest movement that started in late 2018 against the fuel taxes, against fuel cost of living. Yeah, it says we're creating a segregated society, and I think it's unbelievable to be doing this in the country of human rights. This is a teacher who was demonstrating. Says, so I took to the streets. I have never protested before in my life. I think our freedom is in danger. And that's exactly right. That's what I feel as far as this whole thing goes. And that's, I would say, another reason, you could say it's a conspiracy or not, for this vaccine to be, or not just the vax, or the jab, but the virus itself to be in existence. There's a reason. There's been depopulation agendas in effect. World or a health organization, do your research on them. But I do want to say, again, your choice. Whatever you're trying to do, that's on you. Just don't judge me. Leave me alone. I know what I'm doing for myself. So, oh, and it says here, visitors going to museums, cinemas, or swimming pools are already denied entry if you can't produce the health pass showing they have been vaccinated against COVID-19 or have had a recent negative test. Now, how is the health pass presented? That's my question. Is it a paper health pass? I know that. Huh?
It's a card.
A card. Okay, a physical card.
Your vaccine, they give you depending on what you get. If it's the Pfizer or Moderna, you get a shot, a stamp with your first shot, stamp with your second shot, and as you know, the Johnson & Johnson is a 1 jab.
Right. I know that. Well, I know people who've gotten their 1 shot and gotten the card before they even finished getting the whole thing. So I don't know how, loose or not they're being with giving these cards out, but I will say that I know there is probably already a black market.
Of course it is. I was getting ready to say, my mom, but back in April, my mom said they was trying to give away somebody don't stole cards.
That's a dang shame. But listen, my email address is in the description box. If you might so happen to know somebody who has some of these cards, I wouldn't mind talking to them, interviewing them for the show. Wink, wink. But anyway, just saying. This thing goes on to say, Parliament approved a new law this week that will make vaccinations mandatory for health workers and extend the health pass requirement to bars, restaurants, trade shows, trains, and hospitals. It's interesting to me that the airlines haven't been a part of that just yet. And I would think they're probably going to be last on board because they already took a big hit during the last shutdown and the restrictions that were going on. So I know that they, for the sake of the dollar, are probably going to put that off at a point. I mean, up to a certain, it's probably until they can get away with it, as long as they can. So yeah, this is going on in France. So I don't know how long. A lot of times this stuff does happen overseas before it happens out here. Let's see what this video is looking like. What's this thing? Oh shit. Okay, I don't know what happened. Okay, never mind. On the video. So what do y'all think about this health pass? If they had I don't know who is that jabbed up or not out listening, but how would you feel if they mandated this where you live? You have to have this health pass in order to basically live in the public. Would that change your mind about it if you're not vaccinated? Or I'm just curious. What about you, beautiful? Is that going to change your mind? Should you be limited to go here and there?
Well, I know me, I'm stubborn. I'll be limited for a while. And if it came to just like all dragging me out to a concentration camp, then it'll just have to come to that. And I'll probably still be kicking and fussing.
Yeah. See, I would never want to be dragged into nowhere. And I'm not going to typically do anything that don't feel right with spirit and within, So until it does.
So worried. I'm just so worried. It's more negative outcome than it is positive as far as it being helpful and beneficial for the humans. And it just seemed like it's a global medical experiment on human beings, in my opinion.
Now I know that we talked about deaths with regard to the vaccinated people. And and Miss Della Baby Yoda said that I think a lady had died and I think texted y'all and she said she probably had pre-existing health conditions. And my thing is,
yes, the one that
okay, now what if you
amputated? Did you talk about the lady that got legs were amputated and then her hands or something like that?
Yeah. Now, what if you have pre-existing things that you aren't aware of that don't go with, that are.
So, and that's what, yes. So for an example, like, the hubby, Gillian Beret, that's well known, documented, because it attacks your immune system. We knew that he could not get the Johnson & Johnson. So there was documentation provided there. So when he got his shot, we knew that he could get the Pfizer or the Moderna, but not the Johnson & Johnson. So, but again, when you go get your shot, so again, we know that it was approved for emergency use. They don't really ask you. They ask you a few little questions. When you got all of these shots are being given to you, they're not going to sit here and go through a whole list of medical asking, do you got this? Do you have? No, they don't do that. They ask you a few questions. You get your shot, and then you move on. Then you come back 3 weeks later and get your second shot.
Mm-hmm. Well, the problem is everybody's not doing that. And so you have people walking around saying they're vaccinated when they're not fully vaccinated. A lot of places and situations are calling for people just to be honest, the honor system, which that doesn't work.
That is correct. It's not working.
It doesn't work. No. And yeah, go ahead.
I know that. So, and this just going back a little bit about the working and the mandates. I did see, believe it was yesterday, believe it was Facebook, I believe it was Google, and I believe it was Netflix. If you are not vaccinated, you will be fired. That proof some places have. If you're not vaccinated, they trying to they're trying to not take people's freedom, saying that you have to come in or get a test maybe once a week or twice a week. But I know it was Netflix. I think it was Lyft, Google, um, Twitter. If you don't get vaccinated, oh, and that that food chain shake something. What is that man's name? Okay, I'll look it up. If you don't get vaccinated, you're fired. That's it. Either you vax or you're fired. That's it.
No, there's no times out necessary here. I don't, from what I can tell, is someone's quoting some actual, I don't know. I didn't look up the sources, but they're citing information. So, I mean, it's okay to
Um,
have opposite opinions and things.
um,
Go ahead.
I just been seeing a lot of in my city, and I'm not sure how it is everywhere else, but like they broadcast on all the channels out here almost every day that it's more people than got jabbed that done passed away because they caught COVID a second time from Pfizer and Moderna that were young from teenage age on up to past 50 with no previous health problems. And that's like they're like fascinated by it, like basically like the way they talk about it. Oh, it's so mind blowing. They just don't understand. No health problems. They got jabbed twice fully, and then they were in the hospital and passed away from catching it the second time. That's they've been pushing that for over a week now. Almost every day, it's like, oh, it's a rise, it's a rise. It's only fully back jab people that's passing away or in the hospital on life support or in bad condition. And now that really got me shook about
But
it.
then I hear that the majority of the people that are dying, they're the non-vaccinated. So as
Yeah.
of today, I heard there were 90% of the people right now that was hospitalized are unvaccinated people.
hmm See, it's like they I don't know where the flip had came in at. It was to me like within a 2.5 weeks before they were saying that narrative out here in Vegas that it was all the unjabbed people, and then they turned around. I don't know what happened. It was just like overnight, and they just been like on it, like almost every day. Now they're saying it's all the vaccinated. That's majority in the
Where,
hospital.
but what is the source of the information? Because you have to look at where.
They have medical. They had one female medical doctor that came on 3 times. They had a few doctors from the CDC out here in Vegas, and it's mostly physicians that are
But
either from
what's the
CDC.
platform though?
Oh,
Who?
the news channels, Channel
Oh, just
5
on the regular news. Okay.
and 13. Yeah.
Huh. Well, I mean, this is something we just keep our eye on and we continue to talk about. And, um, there's different updates on a regular basis in all types of areas with regard to this. There's the schools. We were touching on that earlier with the students. That's a mess and all over the place. I noticed there's people just like, I'm just going to homeschool because how do you just trust your child being in this environment? And you don't know, you're really having to trust other people when it comes to your child more so than ever.
I agree. And especially if you got a parent that say, my kid is not going to wear a mask. And then you got another parent that say, I want my kid to wear a mask. And it's
Exactly.
terrible. I believe that politics have torn this country apart. You do not allow um allow a politician to dictate your life. Because again, you on a ventilator, where the hell they at? They just move on to the next. You got to be you like again. We don't want to take your freedom away, but with freedom comes responsibility. So we talked about this all the time. God is. I know you and what is it? BS, beautiful spirit.
Beautiful. You can't
That
you can't
you
call her
you
BS. Are we gonna have to? We can't call her BS now.
okay, okay. So
We'll just
that
say, you know, in my Pharrell
that
voice.
you guys are careful. So then I know people that are not vaccinated ain't gonna give this. Oh my God, I'll just take a test every now and then, but I'm gonna still go out here and do what I want to do. No, you can't do that, because guess what? I don't want nobody getting me sick. That is the reason why I got my shot, even though I work from home. However, I like to go out time after time. However, the hubby works in a atmosphere where there are thousands of people there. No one is going to come home and take me and the dog out. And then, like I said, I want to be able to see my family and things like that. So that's why I got the shot. I
Yeah.
wanted to be safe and be able to see my loved ones.
Well, like I said, and we continue to both say, it's everybody's choice. Everybody has a different reason for their choice, and that should be your prior prerogative. That's it. So,
I'm, I'm glad you mentioned the schools because I almost forgot.
mhm.
I don't know if anybody else live out here in Vegas that's listening, but I know from family and like family, my best friend, her child and a few of my nieces, nephews, they returned to school. In the schools, this was allegedly, I believe, Monday, tried to give kids the jab without contacting the parents. And if the kids
What?
didn't have cell phones and called home, the parents wouldn't have knew.
That's unacceptable.
And so I'm glad you brought that up. I don't know how I almost forgot, but I did almost totally forget. I guess because it's just been so much to unpack almost every other day that you kind of, it just be so much. But yes, she had to go. She just went up there and got her son and just was like, no. And she said at first they tried to say, oh, it's like regular your immunizations for school, but this boy is 14 years old. No. Even if it was like regular immunizations, you still have to get consent from the parent, and the parent has to, give consent, and it's paperwork to sign off on. And they had them like in the lunchroom lined up, and they were like, gonna, oh, they thought it was on the portal or email got sent out. Like, so people be aware if you're sending your kids to school. I don't know if it's just out here in Vegas, but just be aware if it's any way possible. Try to have your child not feel like they're pressured and they have to tell you after the fact if it's trying to be sneaky like that to be given.
That's a actual fact. I had
Yeah.
an experience myself just thinking about it.
Hmm.
My son was ninth grade, 10th grade, 14 or 15. They had a student return from Mexico after the spring break with what was that at the time? Whatever it was that cough. It was like this cough that was so bad.
Like the whooping cough.
Yeah, but I can't remember at the time. It was like the thing at the time.
Okay.
Um, anyway, so this student, I guess, came back from from being in Mexico for spring break, and they didn't test or have show no new shots or whatever. But nevertheless, from coming back into well, I guess, well, anyway, so my son, my son comes home with a note. They tested all the students for TB, and nobody didn't ask me or tell me nothing ahead of time. I knew nothing until he came home to say he tested. He got the skin test and it tested positive. So he had to go get treated for 9 months. They gave him pills. And he has to carry around a paper to say that he was tested for this and whatever, because I guess it don't necessarily go away. But I lost my mind. I didn't know how to handle it, but I went through the school district for a while, and they basically just gave me all the red tape they could till I just got frustrated and ended up, leaving it alone, which I regret in this moment. I mean, it just kind of like got put in a box, I guess, over the years. But now I'm thinking about it, I'm like mad about that. They ain't had no
Yeah.
right doing that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
So let's get into R. Kelly. Finally, hour and 14 minutes. All right.
You know, sis, before you start that, just the last thing. Now that we talk about students, I'm afraid for the ones that's meant that special needs might be the first ones that they might do this to, and they might not never send no information home with the parent to the parent
Yeah, they would
because the
never know.
kids wouldn't, yeah, the kids wouldn't be able to say anything.
Welcome, Jamisha.
And then I said we can start the R. Kelly.
Yeah, we're gonna move on to R. Kelly. I know a lot of people have been waiting for R. Kelly to come up. Now, we've been following this case. We had a whole, again, 5 hour something discussion. Well, I think 3 hours of it might have been R. Kelly, but last Saturday's live. So if you want the details on all the different motions that were filed by the government with regard to the uncharged acts, the John Does, the text messages that they're trying to introduce as evidence, even though they're not charges. People wonder why these aren't charges. And I would say for the most part, because the people who they're talking to are providing the evidence and testimony in exchange for some type of immunity. I'm just going to say that that's typically the case. I don't know for sure about this case, if that is the truth 100%, but I'm just saying.
I just got notification from Twitter. They said that his attorneys is just filed a late motion, like late today, I guess, or tonight.
His attorneys?
That's what it says on Twitter. Name is Jason. What's the last name? Jason something. He's the journalist. Yes.
Because the one I have here is from yesterday.
Okay.
It was Friday. So I don't know. Let me look real quick and see.
Okay.
What was the date of his tweet? Today?
Oh, it just came through on my phone.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me make sure this is the most recent one.
Yeah. I didn't pull it down to check to see was it the recent one because it kicked me out of StreamYard. For some reason, my phone is acting crazy, wacky.
No worries.
I like the sketch, the artist guy that drew the drawings.
We need all of that for the trial and then some. I want to know every expression.
Yeah.
You got like his eye looking back at her. Look at his eye.
Like I see you over there. Cyflox or Foxfly, whatever you call it, go be said, that's what he was looking at me. Oh my God, Lord, he was looking at me.
Okay. Yeah, so the documents that I have in hand are the most recent ones that have been filed. They do have today's date on them as far as the court entering them, but they were received yesterday.
Oh, they're not recording. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Miss Lasting Impressions by Kim.
Okay, let me share this screen because I know people be wanting to see. It ain't no fake news, boo. All right. Let me take this picture down. StreamYard don't like you to do too many things at once. I keep it real simple for you. All right. So we have here the response. So basically, the government filed a couple of motions in limine. One of them was uncharged acts. The other one was charges that they want to either include or preclude, or actually, I think they were a mixture. One of them had both, but they had things in there that they wanted the defense not to be able to do. They had things in there they wanted to, just include, bring to light as far as bringing evidence to the table, even though they aren't charges, like I said. So the defense had until the 30th, or actually the defense and the government, everybody had until the 30th to respond to any motions. And funny thing is, the defense didn't really bring any new motions. They just said that they wanted to be able to identify Jane Doe 5, I think, specifically, because Jane Doe 5 has social media and is very out there with her accusations and this and that. So they want to be able to disclose her identity. I think there was another Jane Doe involved in that also, but for the most part, they didn't really bring anything to the table as far as new motions. But they did meet the deadline to respond to the government, which is what we have here. I don't want to read this I don't want to read this verbatim, but we'll just say that in the beginning here, they're basically just saying that Mr. Kelly is submitting this memo in opposition to the government's motion to admit at trial evidence of certain acts. They're saying the evidence of the acts offered in the government's motion are unequivocally inadmissible under the federal rules of evidence because the government's request is untimely, not relevant, and if permitted will cause severe prejudice to Mr. Kelly, of which the prejudice outweighs the probative value. So they're basically saying if the court doesn't deny the government's motion, Mr. Kelly's constitutional rights will be violated. And that's the argument. So they go on to break down what they are talking about, basically. It starts off by talking about the lack of timeliness by the government and producing the other act's witnesses. And with that, they're basically just saying, look, they're introducing all this evidence or this new information, and we don't have time to address it. We don't have time to put together a proper argument. It says part of Rule 404B, which also can be Googled, Rule 404B, that was not followed by the government is the fact that notice must be provided before trial in such time as to allow the defendant a fair opportunity to meet the evidence, unless the court excuses that requirement upon a showing of good cause. And yeah, they're just saying that the government needs to articulate a non-propensity purpose for requesting Jane Doe's and John Doe's testimony in order to be properly admitted and the reasoning supporting that purpose. Okay, so basically they're saying the government didn't properly introduce the information on top of the fact that it's late. And it says, oftentimes the gathering of such information and the foundation of such theories takes a lengthy period of time, and the defense should be granted an equal amount of time as the government when it comes to formulating arguments against their requests. Okay, so under the current schedule before the court, the defense is prejudiced by the timing of notice given by the government. So what do y'all think about that? They're saying they don't have enough time to respond to these acts, other acts.
Because it's too much.
It is a lot.
I got choked. They been how about they ain't got time for a lot of stuff. This man been locked up over 2 years and they still ain't got time. But they just gonna have to make time. And it's like you be there or you ain't. Either way, Brooklyn gonna keep it moving forward. And they just gonna have to chop it up. And then, Mr. Trust the process looking. So that's exactly what he get. Doing all this monkey show, trust the process, it's too late. He done fired Greenberg now and everything, and then they still scrambling and still pointing the finger and still procrastinating, ain't got it together. And then I wanted to know this as well. Is it proper law etiquette for them to start off the motion that's saying Mr. Kelly is submitting this like as if they're just a messenger, like he the one that's putting it in here.
Yeah,
is that how they supposed to term and word it?
They always have done that. They don't say we the defense. They always say this is from Mr. Kelly. Like even when it's addressed to the judge or whatever, it says it's from Mr. Kelly. So I always thought that was weird too, but I think that's just the way it's the protocol. I don't know.
Okay, I just wanted to know.
Oh, yeah, but no, I hear you. I hear you on that. I was with you. I had already peeped that though. I do want to say at the top of this page 4, well, really page 3 on the actual sheet. It says that Mr. Kelly was afforded a mere 7 days to respond to the other act's motion. of which the government has not revealed any of the Jane Doe's or John Doe's identities. And while I don't know why they're saying that when it was already, they've already filed a motion for that and the reasoning and the arguments behind that. So why are they putting that out here as if the judge don't know that they haven't revealed these people? They're trying to keep them confidential.
And this is what they know, the defense team. This
It's like
is
they're making everything, they're confusing things.
yes.
It says not only is the defense responsible for answering the government's other acts motion filed on July 20th, 2021, but the government also filed an additional lengthy motion in limine to admit certain evidence, okay? Also with short notice. On the exact same day, the government supplied additional 3,500 material to the defense, all of which require a thorough analysis prior to trial. So they're complaining that this last minute stuff that they got isn't giving them enough time to respond properly. And it's not just the paperwork. So what they ended up doing was they responded with this response here that you see. They submitted a duplicate response, like pretty much it's the same motion to the other government's motion. So they basically responded to both of the government's motion with the same motion. And they're two different motions. So I don't know. So I guess because they're saying in the motion, in their response, that it's all crap, they're basically putting everything in here. I guess that's their way of doing it in a shortcut type of way, like cutting corners, you know. It seems to me they would have taken the time to specifically respond to each motion the way they're laid out, as opposed to giving a blanket response. But again, due to, I guess, their time limitations, because if you go on to the rest of this, it talks about the jury questionnaire and how the fact that you're bringing in same-sex relationships with regard to Mr. Kelly and these John Doe's, but we aren't addressing that in the jury questionnaire. We need to make sure that the jury, we need to know how they feel about same-sex relationships. So they're basically saying we need to have at least one question in there that will cover this topic. And they say that a failure to include such questions violates Mr. Kelly's constitutional right to a fair trial. Now, my thing with this is it not possible to amend the jury questionnaire at this point, even though it's been approved on all sides? So if they just want to add a question or two to cover this topic, then why would that be a problem? I don't see why that would be a reason to basically keep that evidence out.
I agree.
Yeah, but allegedly Mr. Kelly don't even want them to bring up none of the male victims, but he seemed like he don't care about them bringing up the females. He just don't want them to bring male.
That's the point, is that he doesn't want them to bring it up. This is one of the reasons they're using.
Oh, okay.
They're saying, how are you going to bring this up when we haven't even, the jury can't, we haven't addressed that with the jury questionnaire, which has already been approved. They're basically giving different reasons. That's one of them. And as well as what I said earlier about the fact that they don't have enough time to address these things. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say he doesn't have a problem with the female accusations. I would just say it's the timing, probably more so than anything, that they're using as a rebuttal against this. Let me see. So we went on, we talked about the jury questionnaire. Now they have their argument here, which goes on to just cite the 404B again, and with regard to other acts. Let me just read through, because I just really don't want to read all this stuff verbatim tonight. I'm not in that. Unless one of y'all want to read it. I send it to both of y'all. I don't know if y'all received them.
I received it, but I didn't read it. I didn't finish all the pages because I was clicking.
Okay, let me just scan it real quick. See if any other. So, there seems that they're really worried that this evidence is going to affect him with unjustly, as far as the the jury's thoughts of him. Evidence is unfairly prejudicial when it tends to have some adverse effect upon a defendant beyond tending to prove the fact or issue that justify its admission into evidence. So they're
They
like,
didn't
this.
pull that out of thin air. It came from somewhere.
Well, they said they have audio and text messages.
And a few videos.
Well, they definitely have videos.
Yeah.
But with regard to this additional information, I think a lot of it was audio that was gotten. They did have screen recordings. Yeah, they did. That was that child porn. The male, the boys.
Yeah, and they seen the messages of him texting one of the Jane Does to go retrieve that for him.
And this was
offline.
right before his.
Yeah, and they collaborated with. I said they had the text messages of him texting one of the Jane Does to go.
No, I was talking to Miss Della.
Oh,
okay. I didn't hear what she said.
No, I was saying that then it would stay there then. Don't try to throw it up, keep it in there.
I was just saying that they grabbed that from him. So when he was arrested for this final last time, since he's been in when he was arrested by the feds, what was that, July 11, 2019?
Correct.
They grabbed his phone, and a lot of the stuff was in that phone that he had. Now, this fool is knowing that the FBI is on his tail. He knows this, yet he's still playing these games. He's still playing with, these kids. Like, still got stuff in your phone up to the day of. Like, what kind of denial and delusion are you living in?
All on the laptop upstairs while he out with Believe smoking on a cigar. Boy, I'd have heard it all.
I'm just now seeing the chat. Let me catch up here.
He might have texted while he was downstairs smoking that cigar too. Because remember that picture floated around. Somebody said he had a worried look on his face. They said they never seen him sit outside that late smoking with the dog. And then about an hour or two later, you heard breaking news. Feds came, swooped down.
Oh, they got his ass. He was out there walking that dog. Somebody said that dog Belief is going to be in the next indictment. Oh, baby.
Yeah, that baby probably was glad to get rescued. She probably is Believe a boy or a girl? I can't remember. I think Believe is a boy, but I think
he don't care. Like, girl, boy.
He don't. I believe it. But you probably text J Doe. It has some. Ain't no telling, but they collaborated the phone number with because he gives them all phones so he could text and give his commands, and then the laptops and iPads and tablets and stuff. Oh Lord Jesus.
So let's go on to make sure we covered everything they're arguing here. So let's see. To satisfy the relevance inquiry, the evidence must be sufficiently similar to the conduct at issue to permit the jury reasonably to draw from that act or state of mind inference advocated by the proponent of evidence. So they're citing a statute or a case law from a previous U.S. versus Peterson, and that was Second Circuit, 1987. They're going back to the 80s for these laws, child. But it says the district court must consider all evidence presented to the jury and determine whether a reasonable jury could find the advocated inference. So they're like, is all of this stuff relevant to the actual charges in the indictment? I would say they are relevant. They're also saying that it needs to be considered if the district court must determine if it's potential for unfair prejudice. Is this going to be unfair prejudice to him if this stuff is introduced, but yet they're not charged? And I would say it's not unfair because it speaks to his pattern of behavior. And if there's evidence such as audio, video, witness testimony, it needs to be heard, brought to the table, and considered. So yeah, like regardless if it's charged or not. That's why some people who weren't testifying because they were out of the statute of limitations, I felt like can't they still testify or be heard due to just the pattern of behavior, just to substance, to corroborate that. I don't know.
I think it's relevant because they have to cover all bases and to prove their case, the prosecutors, which the defense will try to prove the opposite. But they're not presenting nothing of the opposite. They just don't want it brought in because they can't prove opposite, as far as like his characteristics and his pattern and his track record. But I think it's relevant. They have to cover every nick and cranny, and I would think any juror or whatever. I'm getting tongue tied. I'm sorry. Or any judge or district attorney should want to know more than just a testimony. Like, okay, how do you know he has this track record? What do you mean this is a repeated, a thing of his? Like, prove it, show it to me. And you would have to. So they doing the right thing, and I think it's all relevant.
Mm-hmm.
My I really do. And I'm glad that they doing everything to cover all the way around the table, honey. They
Mm-hmm.
cover every base that they can even think of. And I'm
Me
so
too.
glad this time
Me
that they
too.
covering everything. Because the last time that was a straight circus.
Yeah.
But it was just state. It just was state. But thank God that they not missing a beat, honey. They not even met his tribe family. The tribe family, they got their testimony too.
So they said that and they're also saying basically they're saying it's why it's too late for this. They keep the fact that they don't have enough time. It says another case law they presented. It says it requires the government to provide defendants with reasonable notice of any intrinsic acts evidence it intends to offer at trial, and they keep stressing the fact that they just don't have enough time to address it. They don't have enough time. My thing is, you're dealing with the same type of behavior. So whatever defense you have for the other things, you should be able to bring it up same way you use the same tired motion for the other thing. You use the same tired motion, going to use that same tired argument in the court. And
Yeah.
get ready for your loss and prepare for your appeal. That's where you need to focus on the appeal, because he gonna get some time.
I mean, they act like they've been hollering about they ain't got enough time since the first piece of discovery that they were presented with, and any other paperwork and evidence and any other information that was provided to them so they could start working on their defense strategy and had a stuff together of how they're gonna try to come at this case, these charges for their client. And they still, I mean, how much more time do y'all need? You didn't have time for the other mess. Now you ain't got time for this mess. That's why I'm so glad they not giving them no leeway. Well, you just gonna have to figure it out. That's why they just said y'all can go see him Monday through Sunday, 8 to 8, and there it is.
Yes. So it says, given the magnitude of this case, just like in DeGarder, I don't know how to pronounce that, Mr. Kelly cannot adequately prepare to rebut the evidence of additional allegations made by 13 Jane Does and 2 John Does. Accordingly, the defense requests the court preclude the government from introducing any other acts, evidence, and deny the government's motion in its entirety. Yeah, they're like, dude, it says that they conclude that Mr. Kelly would suffer irreparable prejudice if the government's motion is granted with less than 1 month remaining before trial. So they're basically throwing down the gauntlet as saying, if you allow this, he's done. But they don't realize he already done.
I guess they say he really gonna be done, so done. We don't even want that to happen to him.
They don't want nothing. Lordy. So
Oh well.
Okay, so going on, it's saying Jane Doe's and the government's other acts motion are no less important than the Jane Doe's and John Doe's in the superseding indictment. Um, a single Jane Doe or John Doe that is allowed to testify against the defendant must be met with the same rigorous cross-examination throughout the trial as Jane Doe's 1 through 6. Therefore, without the knowledge of the identity of the Jane and John Does with whom the defense is entitled to thoroughly cross-examine, the defense is at a disadvantage when it comes to adequately preparing for and effectively defending Mr. Kelly. So they want to know who they are, so they can, like you said, call them, stalk them, harass them, blow up their car, and they have allegedly. But they want to know who these people are. All they got to do is ask him. read it to him. He knows who they are. He knows.
Yep. He knows because he the type, he got impeccable memory. He know everything he did to everybody.
So they go on to talk about the Jane Does, specifically number 1. They address them in groups following this, but about this, and I think we know who this is. Once you read this, you know, but it says the government seeks to introduce evidence regarding Mr. Kelly's alleged sexual abuse of Jane Doe number 1 to prove his motive for engaging in racketeering Act 1 bribery. The defense believes the evidence the government seeks to admit lacks reliability, eviscerates Mr. Kelly's Sixth Amendment right to confront his accusers, and should be excluded for prejudice and or confusion under Rule 403. Mr. Kelly has a right to confront his accusers. This is a right which is guaranteed in the Confrontation Clause of the Sixth Amendment. Goes on to cite case law and says testimonial statements of witnesses absent from trial are admitted only when the declarant is unavailable and only where the defendant has a prior opportunity to cross-examine. So in this case, they're saying that they can't because she's no longer alive. It says in the government's motion, representations are made that sexual abuse of Jane Doe number 1 occurred at the hands of Mr. Kelly. The government asserts that while Jane Doe number 1 was still a minor, Kelly began a sexual relationship with her, and in August 1994, when Jane Doe number 1 was 15 years old, Kelly believed Jane Doe number 1 had become pregnant. There is absolutely no physical proof or circumstantial proof that any of these allegations put forth by the government are true. And that's a lie, because Greenberg said it himself on video when being interviewed that he married her. And
said that he didn't know her age.
And which that can be disputed because there's video of him acknowledging her age in interviews.
Yes,
and he showed that he said he didn't know her age at that time. But don't forget, you also got Demetrius Smith. Didn't he say he took them down there? They also got the clerk.
That not only that, his famous signature, the professionals matched that up with his initials and the heart, the RK that he loved to put down after every signing. Then R. Kelly has said, "Oh, I remember when I first met Aaliyah. She was 12 years old, running around the studio with her friends." And then he goes on to say later, "Look at her. She's 14 now."
Oh yeah.
And he says that, and so he gave the whole history and confirmed that what we have said. He met her at 12. He said that she was running around the studio. He said Hankerson brought her to me, and when I got to the studio, she was 12 years old, running around with her friends. And I'm assuming that he meant with her, with the other, like Tiffany Hawkins and them. And then he said she's 14 now, and I got her working on this song in there. When he had these little shades on and his cigar, that's what made Greenberg look stupid, because they played that video right after he got done talking. Well, what is it that we have here?
Dana J and Kip, weren't they on video also? And he admitted that he was crying, talking about he should have did more to help her and all this stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, he saw the fear in her eyes.
Later came back and they chopped and screwed his the video, which is
what a lie. Say it was a voiceover and edited and stuff. How somebody go, boy, please, whatever.
So Queen saying any excuse. Notice he didn't even deny he was with. That is so true. He didn't deny he was with them boys. He didn't deny he was with anybody. But he said his rumors for some of those accusations. But they didn't say it's not true, did they? They just said they don't have time. We don't have time to gather the information on these people's backgrounds in order to cross-examine them.
Hey, y'all, I wonder how does that conversation go when they keep talking about want to go over this stuff with their client. When I wonder, do he be? I bet I wonder, do he smirk or smile when they showing him some of these tapes and playing some of these tapes, recordings and audio and video to him and saying, "This is what they have on you, Kelly. This is what they just showed. This is what they just brought us. Now we asked you about that day. Why did you lie to us?" Or, well, I wonder how is that energy in that room?
That would be interesting to see. I wish I could be a fly on that wall.
Or you
You know
still
how
got
some
those tapes, those devices that they. So wait a minute, you still got stuff on your phone that they took. You still
yeah.
got all that stuff in that storage. There's that guy Demetrius said you got a problem with filming things. This is stuff that's been said. People remember little clicks, everything that somebody says. Greenberg on attack. Every time somebody say anything, it's coming back. It's coming back to bite them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Greenberg said the warehouse. I do believe that he didn't know about it. I believe he didn't know. He gonna say, "Oh, well, I'm pretty sure it should be nothing but his music in there."
Yeah, right. That is so stupid and naive.
Greenberg said, I don't believe they would fight anything. I believe it's just all his music. Yep, that's what it is."
Yeah, yeah. So this thing continues on about Jane Doe 1 and how she, it says, first, due to the unfortunate passing away of Jane Doe 1 on August 25th, 2001, she's legally unavailable. Second, the defendant has never had a prior opportunity to cross-examine Jane Doe number 1 prior to her passing away. Therefore, the additional information the government seeks to introduce regarding Jane Doe number 1 is nothing but more than conjecture and an effort to further shape their narrative. Which I don't see how they could say that when they have proof of the marriage, the annulment, witness testimony, and bribery proof of bribing the county clerk. Like, what? That's proof.
So,
Mm-hmm.
so when Surviving R. Kelly came out, I mean, it actually, I thought it was well done. They started out, how he rose to fame. You started out with, you bought a lip and then everything else. If something negative was said about any of us, we would have sued like we never sued before in our life.
Mm-hmm.
Was there any type of lawsuit?
Nope.
There's never been a lawsuit ever. Well, no one.
Except for against him. Except for him having to pay out $250,000 a pop.
Okay, so let me try to remember something. So I remember what's the other. So, and I remember once Greenberg used to talk, then Gloria Arbridge came out, then she had her say too. So you still got that coming.
Mm-hmm.
You still got you got the New York, you got the Chicago. Isn't another girl Faith? Where is she at? Is she in Texas?
Yeah.
You still got that coming.
Minnesota, California.
Yes.
I believe
you
California.
Still got all of
that.
And that one lawsuit. So again, you had a history of intimidating witnesses, so they kept everything confidential. What happened? The child's car get on fire. Bribery. All this. All of this.
Then he incriminated himself when he submitted them pictures, and I believe that because he signed off on it, they matched that signature too with the Star 6'7" dude saying that he the one that pushed it through. You sent that pictures of you violating this woman to the lawyer's office saying, "Don't take her case, or else you gonna put her on the internet." That was the most. I ain't never heard you gonna submit your evidence.
Oh yeah,
to the
that's
lawyer.
True. You're absolutely right. And then you did do it.
And then he claimed that he had never met her in a day in his life. He didn't know her, don't know where she came from. But yet you go put your famous signature, your initials at that heart at the end of that letter, and you go send pictures of this baby and I'm gonna say baby at the time of her whether it was half cut off, full nudity or not. You gonna submit that not once but twice to an attorney and tell them don't go along with this case? Fool, you just ought to be locked up.
And then you say, I guess you was doing it on the behalf of him, or the
Well,
Greenberg came back and said he had nothing to do with that, so out of the
yeah,
kindness
they
of his
blamed.
heart.
Yeah, well, they blamed Don Russell for that one. That he's has his own trial coming up.
And he still got him to sign on some. When we read that last
Yes,
time,
but they say the man can't read or write, so they use that as the buffer. Oh, he didn't know what he was signing.
People were saying that the feds is in Chicago heavy. I didn't. The comment got deleted, of course. I can't remember if it was in Who Live. It was, but they were saying as far as still investigating with him, questioning people, going around in Chicago streets, questioning people and stuff. People are getting talked to by the people, by the big boy. And they were saying that he knows how to read and write, which we all know that. But just to like me, I'm a slow reader, especially out loud. But I know how to read. I do have to break some things down to comprehend what I'm reading. I might have to do a few paragraphs, at a time and write things out. But that's with everybody. And he just said it out of himself. He'll emphasize on it. I wrote this song. I wrote it. I wrote it. I wrote it. I write it. All that mess. He know, and he talked. Few of his old interviews, y'all. I tell he talks so intelligent. And I don't. It's some words that he said that I would have never even knew how to say, and wouldn't have known if I. Most people when you read a lot, your vocabulary increase even higher because you learn new things, new words and stuff, and your writing skills enhance. So he talked like somebody was reading a lot, and his vocabulary enhanced.
He make it seem like Greenberg make it seem like he didn't know what 1+1 was, or apple is spelled with an O.
Exactly. Lied said the man ain't never had a doctor's appointment in his life because wasn't no reason to.
Yeah, he definitely feels untouchable, like he's untouchable. I think in a lot more situations, just this. He's just the way he's been living his life and the way people kowtow to him. And yes,
but you know what? Jive Records is to blame for that. Jive Records fed that ego. Jive Records helped contribute to that narcissistic lifestyle. They helped him.
Speaking of that, I wonder if they have any testimony from any label execs or anybody who was working for him at the label, not just his own handlers in his camp, but label people, because they were definitely complicit.
Yes, I wonder that too. I wonder if those people that's not been unsealed yet or revealed to the public. I would hope that they have, that they will have them in there. I would hope so, because they played a major part of this of the cover up and protection. Because long as he had them young girls, he was able to go in and make them hits so they get their money.
There's gonna be a lot of flipping. I'm pretty sure if they haven't already been flipped yet, they're gonna tell everything.
For sure.
Like those text messages and just everything. We just need to make sure that he has a fair trial. And you're right, Kim. That last one was a circus. It wasn't a he did, people think that, oh my God, he was found innocent. You was found innocent because it was a reason. It wasn't because you weren't guilty. You was because you probably beat it or whatever the hell you had to do. Again, that was him on that. I saw it, and I'm pretty sure maybe a couple of people on this line probably saw that video too. But again,
I'm gonna go back to Tasha K. When Tasha K was talking to DJ Tyson, I'm gonna go back. I wish I had that audio ready to go, because she said, she's like, well, what about the videotapes? Because he wanted to talk about Angelo and Larry, and she's like, he's on tape, bruh. And also, why you sound like such a cheerleader for this predator.
But it's not just. We're not just. It's not even about. We're talking about other things back prior to or even after the Angela. I mean, his daughter's time. He's not just going there for her. You see what I'm saying? He's going for it's a pattern of everything, not just this one individual. And that's what I don't, like I said, everybody has their personal opinion. I said that I did not think that individual will make a good witness. You try to plant yourself there on the stand yourself. You on videotape saying how much you love him, this, and then the next minute is over. So they're gonna probably question you about that. So that's just one thing. We're talking about a whole bunch of. We talk about a whole.
Yeah, that's why I was saying with regard to her response to him, she who flip flops with her opinion, whether she supports him, don't support him, she wants to tear down alleged victims. Yet then she said that he is a predator. He is on tape. He has a history. He has witness testimony. We have digital testimony, digital footprints. There's so much evidence. That's why it's a little bit interesting and confusing at the same time about this response by his legal team or by him with this new evidence, or to say, well, we don't have time. Well, did you have time to go through the mountains and mountains of evidence that was already in play, that these new attorneys are just coming on board? So if they're only saying, well, they already said they don't have time. Well, she said, well, too bad, right? You already have attorneys who've been in place for 2 years. So now they're saying, well, this new evidence is just too much. It's too much. Well, as seasoned attorneys, they know how to get ready for trial and get ready for, this new evidence coming in. With the seasoning that these attorneys have, they've been in business for a long time. They know how to deal with this stuff. They just don't want to do it. They don't want to do it right now. It is a lot. It's too much for them because it's a lot. And like I think Love Warrior said, that 3,500 material probably blew their socks off. They were probably like, oh, damn.
But
you know what I'm saying?
They probably really don't want to take the case anyway because of it. They know, like, dang. And then they probably taking it back too, because they ain't even know that he did he's a lot of stuff that they don't know. They was like, dang, you was doing all of this? God dang. Why, bruh?
So Reddy Rock is saying, I believe he was found innocent the first time, and no, he wasn't found innocent. He was acquitted. The victim in the tape didn't testify, and the jury just they claimed to not be able to find him guilty, even though they knew that was him. They couldn't prove that it was her, she was underage. So that's why. So they knew it was his ass on that video. So with regard to Jane Doe 1, they basically are just like, look, y'all, you can't prove what you're saying. She's not even alive. We can't cross-examine her, and we don't have time. So then they go on to talk about Jane Doe 7 through 20, and they lump them together. And they say, in the event this court is prepared to allow Jane Doe 7 through Jane Doe 20 to testify, the defense vehemently objects. It is the defense's position that without knowing the names of Jane Doe 7 through Jane Doe 20, the defense cannot effectively show the court why each and every Jane Doe should be stricken. If the names of Jane Does are revealed to the defense will certainly be able to promulgate the proper response for objecting to their introduction under the law. However, given the time restraints, here we go again, in the trial schedule, and with only 10 days left until trial begins, the government should be rewarded for its, they said the government should be rewarded for its untimely, I think they meant shouldn't be.
I would hope so.
For its untimely and late disclosure. More importantly, the court should consider all of the reasons stated above in denying the government's motion as to Jane Doe 7 through 20. So basically, they want to know who these Jane Does are, and they want to be able to pick them apart so they can cross-examine them with all of the information they're able to gather between now and trial. And then they address the John Does. The argument for striking John Doe 1 and John Doe, I think they meant 2, which is not here, is is first executed under the timeliness of the other act's evidence at the beginning of this motion. So they're saying, look, same thing we said at the beginning, we're going to say it again here. The second argument for why John Doe 1 and John Doe 2 should be stricken as 404B witnesses in the same argument as stated regarding the Jane Does. So it's basically like what we said about the Jane Does, we're saying about the John Does. Without knowledge of the names, they can't effectively show the court why each of the John Does should be stricken. If the names of the John Does are revealed, the defense could certainly be able to do so. However, given the time restraint, so here we go again, it's the same argument, and that's pretty much all they provided. 13 pages, and they again submitted a duplicate response for the other motion the government filed. So I think this is definitely laughable. I just think it's lazy work. It's lazy work. I feel like they're resting on the fact that I think they're hoping on getting this thing pushed back somehow, or maybe hoping that some miracle is going to happen, or they're going to get some type of delays, or maybe at some point the ineffective assistance of Greenberg and Leonard is going to maybe allow them to I don't know, get a fresh start on it. I have no idea what they're expecting. What do y'all think?
I think that they're just submitting these dumb motions that's been copied and pasted, because I don't know, do they have to respond? That's why. So they like, let me just throw this together because I have to say something. This deadline, but they really just I think because they back is up against the wall. They really don't have nothing else to. I mean, what could they say? How could they come to fire back? So that's why it's a lot of copy and paste of the same thing repeatedly. Me and you almost know it like the back of our hand of how they respond and how they started off and how they word it. We almost got it down pat. It's the same soup warmed over. It started off with just 11-page motion. Now they're up to 13. That's a change. I don't know. It is lazy work though for them to be representing him or any client. They're doing some raggedy, lazy work. That's some straight raggedy, lazy work.
Not just lazy, but raggedy and lazy. I agree. I just feel like I was expecting more pages and more details about why not. Like they didn't, to me, do the work. Like I was looking for more specifics and more legalese, more legal language. Like I was looking for an improvement upon Greenberg and Leonard. I ain't really seen it.
Speaking of Greenberg and Leonard, they said they were gonna, well, allegedly it was read on a BCN, if I'm correct, that they were gonna step away, withdraw from the case anyway. Look at her, y'all. Look at Tricky B. Yeah, great. Yeah. 500,000. Would that be the number? Great. We'll get it. Yeah.
I think she was at the time going to be, this lady was going to be an attorney for them. I think I read that.
See, she must have been texting our line right then and there. Guilty.
Okay.
That lady told her, don't be talking to my people, talking to my girls. That might have been her phone, but they did that pre-recorded TMZ video when we thought it was Harvey, made it very clear. When they thought he was getting out and he wasn't, they had the welcome home balloons in the back. And I said, y'all, that's a pre-recorded video, like from somebody's cell phone. That ain't TMZ there interviewing them. Sure enough, Harvey said that they submitted that video to him. He was supposed to meet up with him, but he didn't. So I wonder, was it Nikki's phone or Greenberg? Somebody gave him a phone to do that recording. Oh, who is that lady right there, y'all, with the glasses on?
The handler.
Yeah. Is that Kimberly woman or is that Deborah? Oh, baby, I gotta look. I see, you can watch something and always catch something you miss. That has to be.
Joycelyn
Yeah,
looks so
she's the handler for Joycelyn. I'm willing to bet. God bless that young. God bless and watch over Joycelyn. That's a big cattle press of Mama Jamma right there, boy. Joycelyn had to fight for her life, try to get that one. She had to go to blows. She had
Well,
to go to blows with her.
yeah. So Ready Rock said, I also place blame on the parents for being opportunists. How could they give their minors away to a grown man? I mean, that could definitely ring true for the land fairs.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I don't know if I would say anybody else gave. I don't know, because there's other girls and women we don't know about still. Like there's situations that we still really don't know about that are probably more shocking than some of the stuff we've already read.
Yes, the one parent of the one of the initials that we read last week when they were when the worker employees number 1 through 4 was texting each other and explaining about how he was taking one of the children upstairs and told the mama to stay her butt downstairs because he don't need her to intervene. Now
Yeah.
that I blame that one too because I just still can't wrap my mind around it. I know my mama and daddy or somebody downstairs and he gonna stand in your face and you go comply. Oh no.
I know it
No.
was argued that Michelle Kramer was one of those parents too. She,
Mm-hmm.
of course, you guys know I interviewed her. She says no, that wasn't the case, and people said that she was dating one of his bodyguards in the
Yeah.
kitchen cooking breakfast and whatnot when
And
all that abuse was supposedly going on.
And Kate Michelle said that it was mothers in the kitchen cooking breakfast, so they don't want me to talk. They don't want me to get to talking.
Wouldn't it be crazy if Kay Michelle was a witness?
Oh, baby, yes. And I believe that she has received some sit down. I believe it. I believe it. I believe it. I believe it so hardly. I think if she ain't person of interest, very soon. They go. I know they had to see. I know. I just got a good feeling. I know the authorities probably talked to her. They didn't. They probably talked to her or wanted to know who was these mothers. Maybe that's how they got the information. Let us know. You were there for breakfast. Well, what was for breakfast? Turkey bacon or pancakes? You did them better than Drea, didn't you? Oh.
He was doing the most, whoever that was.
Yeah. I can't
But
wait till
yeah.
they have her butt on the stand too. Oh yeah, they're gonna start 6-7.
Oh yeah. He got, I heard an argument about this guy on another channel. These are people who are supporting R. Kelly, and they were arguing whether or not Don Russell is a mole or or he's really down for R. Kelly. And this person, I think it was O Sly Fox. She was like, "Oh, he's down for him. All he's doing. He's just trying to help his client. He's trying
So
to
he
help
gonna
him."
go to jail for him. So
Yeah,
let's see what happens.
yeah.
So he already going down. So you did all those calls, threats, and everything else. So let's see you go down for him. Let's see what
Yeah.
happens.
He's
Who
definitely
wants
going
to
down.
purposely go to jail for somebody?
Right. That's true. What was he going to get out of that? Like, is he getting an extra bonus? Like, I don't know. What R. Kelly might be.
Oh, I like
guy.
I like that joke. An extra bonus.
A boner or boner?
He was
You want a
fine.
bonus or a boner?
Remember that
Huh.
time when he got out for child support and he did
Uh-huh.
an interview? Didn't he fire him immediately after that interview? So you
Oh
wouldn't
yeah.
be working for him no more.
Yeah, that was funny. And then Star 67 gonna say, "Oh, I never said there wasn't a tape. I just said what's on the tape. Have a good day."
He really did throw him under the bus and then was driving the damn bus over and back and forth. Didn't and act like he had no clue.
Yep.
I was just trying to help. What I do? I mean, with friends like him.
Oh my goodness. I just
So, yeah,
you know what? But R. Kelly crew, R. Kelly camp, his group of people, they all look like a little strange. He looked retarded. The lady, the handler looked retarded. Everybody looked like rejects. Devil's rejects. That's how they look like. Devil's rejects. They all look a little left field. He looked, yeah. I
I'm gonna
don't
show you
know.
who I really felt always looked like
Skip
that.
to Skip reminded me of the Adams family.
Somebody said he got a sagging neck. This to me was the devil when I seen this guy. I'm gonna tell you. Let's see, can I bring it up big? Where's that picture? Okay, this is a video, but you can still see. Ah,
Yeah, Yoda. Yoda, I see where you tried to escape the other day. I
this guy right here.
Yes, you nailed it. You nailed it. Boom.
Where's the one where he had his hair was look like horns?
Oh, 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 shoot. Which one was that one? He done look crazy.
I'm
He sure
looking
do
through
look
some pictures to see if I can find it, but I'm
like
telling
off a
you.
Hellboy. He just needed the red skin. That's all. Had a damn horns up on top of his head. He
I
sure
did.
is.
Yeah, I did a video just on him at one, when this stuff was playing out, and I think that might have been the first time I said Beehive
You know what?
on YouTube.
When he did that interview on not CNN, what was that news podcaster? He's from London, light skinned fella. Does that news reporting. But anyway, it's at the tip of my tongue. He I thought he had a wireless plug in him the way he kept wiggling and jiggling in his seat like somebody was using a wireless remote, buzzing him, took his lips, gritted and stuff. He was getting off on his camera shot too.
Ruddy Rock, that neck is filled with evil intentions.
Yes, yes.
Don Russell's another boyfriend. Oh, what if Don Russell was John Doe? What if it was Dana J? He was John Doe number 2.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh my
sad. It's not
God.
even funny. It's not even funny. But
Yeah. John
telling you,
Russell looked like the off of the Tyler Perry play when the boys say, "Oh, jingle bells! Oh, Santa Claus is here, jingle bells!"
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was with Miss with IT Eleanor. What's her name on the show? When she the men came over and the one daughter-in-law, she was top of the date, and she said, "Oh, you're tall, just like how I like them. You're strong, how I like them." I forgot which one that was, which play that was, and the boy was a little touched. And he said, the doorbell had rung, and he said, "Jingle bells, jingle bells." Oh, yes, he's here. Santa Claus is here. And but then say he just be having fits and bits and fits.
Child. All these people are lost their minds.
He probably wearing little turtle panties for R. Kelly too.
They had to do everything for that man. You know, he don't let you get close unless you put yourself out there and do
But
something.
you know his mama was there. His mama probably was cooking breakfast too. She was scrambling.
Oh, the old lady, Don Russell.
Yeah, yeah. She's scrambling them eggs. That's sickening. That's sickening. He probably. Oh, let me shut up. I was about to take it there. Take it too far. Be put muzzle on my mouth. Mm-mm.
So that's really all on that tonight. I'm not gonna do crime line because we took too much time. He got too much in his crime line to even like. How could we even finish that before the trial? I mean, I'm gonna try.
He definitely going down in history. This case is gonna be one of a kind, baby. One of a kind.
Well, definitely historic already.
Yeah.
We've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, and we want to make sure that he gets a fair trial.
Yeah, we do want that. So I'm pulling up some pictures because I want to show y'all before we sign out. You guys know I was talking about the cleanup on Venice Beach. There's for those of who are not familiar, Venice Beach
Yes,
is.
it looked beautiful. It looked
Oh, you saw the new.
Yes, it looked good.
I was looking for a picture of when. Okay, so I'm gonna show the before and after if this will work. Let's see. So they had the deadline. Uh-huh.
I remember my brother. We did a turnaround in 2013, and I went on the Pier of Venice Beach, and we did the bike ride. I remember that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we drove down. We went to Santa Monica and Venice Beach. I
didn't know you. I thought you had never been here. Okay, well that's good.
But I didn't get in the water. I didn't touch the sand. I didn't even put my feet in the
Why?
sand.
You did a whole bike ride out here? You didn't get off the
I
bike?
was on the bike trail, but I didn't touch the beach.
Well, they made a lot of progress. This is like the first time. I think what happened, so there's always been homeless in Venice, but it just got so bad. I think because of COVID, when the shutdown was happening, people just took advantage of the non-action of the police and stuff. And basically it just grew and grew. There was a video I was watching. They were interviewing some of these people, and none of them were from California. They were all from different states. And I guess it became a word of mouth for the homeless people. But I'm gonna play this one video. This was before. Oh, this is the interview. So so there's a whole thing. There's a councilman. This is his district. His name is Mike Bonin. They're trying to recall this man. He's the one. He and another council person were the only two people that voted no on this cleanup that they actually ended up doing. This says this is an interview of him, but I'm thinking it's going to show some of what the homeless was looking like. So I'm gonna see like this.
But you're right. I did.
Say that again.
I said you're right because I did. I saw a lot of beer bottles and stuff and homeless people. I did see that.
I'm gonna turn the volume down. I think this is an ad, of course. 23 seconds. Jeez.
They getting their money, honey.
I haven't been. I'm definitely gonna try to make my way. Maybe I'll go live from there because I want to. I've been staying away from Venice Beach because of it. It's just nasty and not saying all unhoused people are gross, but the people over here on Venice Beach were crazy. Okay, so let's see. This is that guy. What's he talking about?
Venice. I've been spending time there, speaking with residents, speaking with people living on the streets there. The boardwalk is one giant encampment now.
Yes, it is.
Big area of concern.
The current situation, let's be very clear. The current situation is absolutely unacceptable. We have had over the past year an enormous proliferation of
homelessness the beach
in Los Angeles. Places where homelessness was big to begin with, it grew exponentially.
Look at that.
It's gotten much bigger.
It wasn't like that when I went. It wasn't like that.
This happened more so the pandemic made it worse.
Oh my gosh. Look at that.
So it made like a camp city. It was like a tent city. This is expensive property and expensive area.
A ton of resources so that we can do an aggressive.
And he's trying to be nice guy. Oh, we don't need police. Yeah, you need police.
Beach and restore the park and the neighborhood to general public use.
What is going to change when, though?
While we are housing people, we need to be opening up recreational spaces to people who have not had the opportunity to use them for the past year during the pandemic.
So I just wanted to show how bad it was, but let me see if there's any more.
That's beautiful. That's a big difference.
Yeah, okay, so well that was okay because it really covers like a 2-mile zone. Let me just scroll through.
I wonder where he got those pictures from in the background on his wall, like those paintings.
Okay, I think that's all of that. Okay, so then the sheriff deputy Villanueva, so he gets involved. They didn't have words. They had public words back and forth because he said, oh, you're just doing a publicity stunt. But I'm gonna tell you, that sheriff came and he cleaned up. And I'm gonna show y'all what it looks like now.
Sheriff say, yeah, I got this. I'll show you how it's supposed to get done.
Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. Right. He did say that. He's like, I don't care what you talking about. He's like, what you doing is not the way it's not gonna work. Like, okay, let me see. Okay, so this is the guy who was riding his bike.
Oh, look
I
at
think that's
that.
this morning. So this is the bike trail, but the boardwalk is just on the other side of it. So he went up the bike trail and then came back down. But normally all of this grass area and the sand right there would have been tents.
I mean, you wouldn't have been able to see the real beauty of it before.
Exactly.
Now you can see. Now that look like a beach. Now that looks like you're going to the beach. You about to enjoy your day. The performers that they have out there on the beaches that I be seeing, I know the food be great. I didn't get a chance to get
Yeah,
the
I
food.
mean, actually, they have some really good places, but like to me,
Look
it
how
still has a
beautiful.
yeah. Look how nice this, but it still has this grimy vibe to it for some reason. I don't know, but look how beautiful the beach is. All of that was tents, 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 all over. So
I
I'm just
mean,
glad to see.
it's like clear. It look, like elbow room, and the vision is not. That's a big difference. Oh my goodness, that is a
So
big
I'm
difference.
gonna scroll forward just to the actual boardwalk because he comes back down
Hmm.
and then he's going through the people on the boardwalk, which is here. So this is the actual boardwalk, and see, normally it was just tents. All where the trees are were
Yeah.
tents tied to them, and all of that. So now it's so, but the problem is going to be, so they're going to have to continue to what they've been doing are like 3 a.m. cleanups. So they would go at 3 a.m. and do they would have the sanitizing trucks and get the last stragglers out the way. Now, a lot of people are arguing that they only did this for tourism and for, but the truth of the matter is that this should belong to everyone fairly. When the homeless people took over with the tents, they had fights all the time. They would attack customers of people just minding their business. People would get attacked, robbed. There's been,
Yeah.
they found when they went through they were cleaning up the homeless people tents and stuff. They found a girl's ID and some other stuff of a missing girl that turned out, I guess she was killed, raped and killed. But they found her ID and stuff on somebody's tent. So, and all that to say, these people could be anybody. Like, you don't know who you're dealing with when you're dealing with some of these people. A lot of people have mental health issues. Most of these people have mental health issues. So if you go on YouTube and search Venice Beach homeless, you'll probably come up with a lot of different scenarios of stuff that goes on. Miss Della, what's going on? You popping in, popping out? You good? Oh, that's what I was gonna say too, Wayne. No mask. That was another thing I noticed when I was watching this today. I was like, wait a minute, I'm appreciating the cleanliness the beach has regained. However, why is nobody wearing a mask? Like, this was supposed to be mandated like last week, inside and outside. Masks are supposed to be back on.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just reading the chat real quick. In America, the eviction moratorium is ending. Oh yeah, that's another thing that's happening. The eviction moratorium is ending. I know they were talking about extending it to the end of the year because of the new variants and possible lockdowns that are upcoming. However, I don't know if that's going to happen. And landlords have been fighting this because even though some of them are getting money, they don't want it because they feel like they don't want to keep their, in their mind, they're like, I'm having trouble with this person. Why do I want to keep them here? Even if you're paying for them, what about when that runs out? I'm going to have a harder time. You know what I'm saying? So they were saying that a lot of these landlords don't want the money, which is crazy to me. Like, if they're behind 18 months or however 12 months, you don't want to take that back pay. But a lot of them just say, I'd rather just get new people who could pay on their own. So the homeless people are moving, I think, into adjacent areas and into the actual neighborhoods, the residential parts. 2 blocks east of this boardwalk, I used to work. And some of y'all know Anthony, Mr. Cobb, the educator who has come on some of my lives, he and I used to work So we would come here for lunch, and just after work, we would just go there. Sometimes we would go skating. And I read in some of these comments that people would park where we used to work, but they can't anymore because tents flood the streets in the actual residential part of the city. So that's where they probably moved to. A lot of them are said to have been given home housing. Either there's this shared apartment situation they're doing, some type of program. There are shelters, of course, and there's living arrangement. There's a nearby, I think it's called St. Joseph's, and they are a nonprofit who have been working with the homeless in Venice, and they have apartments, I think, on Venice that they were awarded. So some of these people were able to live in these apartments. But like I said, if you search, you'll find some information about even that. Somebody was advocating against that social, what do they call that group, advocates, because they said that those apartments that they run are full of crime, and they call it a rape. They have a name for it. It's the R word something apartments, because apparently that's a lot of that happens under those people's watch. So anyway, let's see. Since people weren't working, no fault of their own, and following government instructions, they should expunge past due rent. They find money for everything else, right? Like aliens. Hey, the aliens need their money too now.
Boy, I'm looking at the food stands, the souvenir stands and everything. I have to hit the jackpot because I would want to get some of everything. Definitely be stuffed and full, but I would want to just take. I didn't get. Oh my goodness, that's nice though. I like that. I wish Vegas had the beach.
Yeah, look how beautiful it is. That was today. So it was a nice day today in Los Angeles.
Look at the sky and everything. That is beautiful.
Yeah, no tents. I mean, I hate to say that. That's the guy's channel. But yeah, so shout out to him. Video by Fabian Lukowitz. Okay. All right, Fabian. Well, thanks for that footage. But yeah, I just wanted to update that they got that job done. So I just hope they keep it up. But yeah, like Wayne said, none of the people wear masks. Like, where are the masks? I'm not trying to go out there and be around those people.
It's people out here in Vegas complaining there, people on the strip and downtown, tourists and locals, about they don't want to wear the mask and all that carrying on. Like,
yeah, Queen said she don't need one outside the heat. She said, I don't need one outside in the heat. Well, I'm assuming you're vaccinated, because otherwise you would need your mask.
They don't want to wear them inside the stores and the casinos and stuff. They don't want to wear them at all.
Well, they're saying that even the mandate here is indoor and outdoor masks are required. So
yeah,
that's the fact that I was shot today and nobody had a mask on. I'm like, what? But who was that said somebody ripped off somebody's mask? I forgot who that was. I don't know if JC came back. She didn't like that person who was trolling for the vaccine. I don't know if they were trolling, but they definitely found the topic here and decided to spam us or give us, a lot of information adverse to what some of the people were believing. So I don't know if JC left and didn't come back, but everybody has an opinion. I think we should all be able to express it as long as there's no disrespect. You know what I'm saying? Then she's okay. You had it immune for a few months. Okay. A few months only? Okay. So, I mean, that's all I got. I'm just glad we made it and got through it. There's a lot of things in the news, though. I was looking to see what was going on because I've been kind of off the grid a little bit in this past week. But I do want to continue. Y'all continue to keep Simone Biles in your thoughts and prayers, because she's a young girl, and I would just hate for her to now have a stigma on her, even though she's getting some support. But we haven't seen a lot of this. You're expected, if you make the Olympics, you're expected to carry that and go through with it and don't complain, because this is what you signed up for, Well, I guess we'll end it here. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for your contribution on the panel as well as in the chat. Thank you for modding to my mod squad.
No problem.
I'm looking at Ready Rock's comment. I've seen so many people argue with employees over wearing a mask. I get upset because of the lack of empathy for people around them and being so disrespectful to people just doing their job.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, you shouldn't be arguing with people. And that's the thing. A lot of these employers are upset because they feel like the government has put it on them to make the decisions for the workplace when they don't want to be the person. They're going to, because they feel like the bad guy. They feel like the government needs to mandate something for workplaces so that they can just follow that. But I mean, as a business owner, as a boss, you should be able to be a boss throughout the whole process of your, whatever's happening with outside of the company. You should be able to mandate that within your own company, however you see fit as a boss. Give and take, you got to take into effect your company, how things work. I think in most instances, if people aren't spaced out, then they need to be wearing masks or have partitions. I know that in my last job, they had partitions up between people who were in cubicles that were close together. So they had made extra precautions. So I think it's worth it, And that's what that PPP. If you're a legitimate business owner and maybe you can't afford to make these changes and upgrades for your staff or even, keep things going enough for your staff to be there and be safe, then that PPP loan is for you. Go ahead and get that if it's still available. That's just the people who actually qualify, though. I'm just saying. Well, I think we lost Miss Della. Maybe her iPad's probably burned out on her, but I want to thank her. You beautiful, of course. Love Warrior Wow Wayne and Aisha for holding down the wrenches, and for the new people in here, Ready Rock, and whoever else new I saw, and of course my return warriors. Thank you all for coming. And I'll try to be back Wednesday. If not, we'll be here Saturday. Definitely tomorrow. I'll try to love at some point. But if you're subscribed, look out for the notification. Otherwise, y'all take care. Enjoy the rest of your night or your day if it's already morning. Peace and love and light. Till next time. Deuces.